right, welcome into the show this week, Midwest Mics. I'm Gary.
This is Austin.
And we're coming at you from sunny Orlando, Florida this week.
We're down in Orlando for Gary's bachelor party. And so we took some time out of our very, very busy schedule.
Yeah, very busy vacation schedule this week, soaking up some sun. We're going to go hit the pool when we get done recording here, so go get a little sun time down here in Orlando while everybody in Kansas City is freezing.
Yeah.
So, all right, well, hit the Twitter, the Facebook. It's all under Midwest Mics, all our social media. Go check us out. Interact with us. Let us know what you think of the show. If you got an idea or something you want to hear us talk about, hey, let us know. We're open.
Yeah, for sure. Just today, because today's show especially is just kind of a topic show. We're not doing anything about news or anything. We're just it's an opinion show today. It's a list, so it's a top 8 list. Top 8 quarterbacks. Criteria that we made was the quarterback had to have played in our lifetime.
Yep.
So 83 or later. So anyways, doing these kind of lists is a lot of fun. Like I said, if you guys want any more lists like this, I'm sure we'll want to do some more. I think we got one planned coming up with we're doing like top 8 sports underdog movies, I think.
Yep. Yeah, we're working on that.
So that one's coming up. This one should be a lot of fun. I think our lists, in some ways, we're doing top 8 quarterbacks today, and our lists, some ways will be similar, in other ways will be different. I don't think there's any big surprises, but we'll find out. Let's.
Yeah. So we'll jump right in. I'll start number 8 for me. We'll start at 8 and work our way to number 1. Number 8 for me is Brett Favre. Played in 1991 to 2009, played 19 seasons. Obviously started in Atlanta, went to Green Bay, played most of his career in Green Bay. At the end of his career, went to the Jets, went to the Vikings. Toward the end, he was an 11-time Pro Bowler, 3-time NFL MVP. He's the only person to win the NFL MVP 3 consecutive seasons.
That is pretty cool. So what years is that he won those? I'm assuming it's probably his Super Bowl years.
Yeah, I think it was like 96, 97, 98 was the 3 years that I saw that he did that. It was either 96 to 98 or 97, 98, and 99. It was somewhere in that time frame. So late 90s. His most impressive stat, though, to me, and why he made my list at number 8 was 297 regular season starts consecutively. He started 321 straight games, including playoffs. So and that's mind-blowing. 18 and a half seasons.
The thing that's amazing about that is that and I've heard him talk about this, the consecutive record thing is amazing because, first of all, some of those games he is hurt.
Yeah.
And he still plays. I think there's one where he has like a broken finger, and he just tapes it up and he rolls with it, man. His father passed away.
Still played that night on Monday Night Football.
And had a really good game. Mm. So the ability to he took that one, and especially took a personal tragedy, focused, and he did what his dad would have wanted him to play. And so he went ahead and did that. And I think the other thing that's impressive about that is the ability to stay as a starter in the NFL and not become a backup.
Yeah.
Like some of these other quarterbacks who start for 5-6 years and they end up, going to be a backup somewhere. Yeah. The ability to play at that high of a level and be considered
for that long.
I mean,
321 straight games, like I said, including playoffs. I mean, that's amazing.
Really the only thing that what was it? The only season I remember him being like, the only season I remember him like having a or having like a not really even a bad season, but like whatever, was that his last year in Minnesota.
Yeah.
So I have Favre on my list also, but I'll hit him whenever we get to my number. So
okay, so your number 8.
My number 8 is Mr. Kurt Warner. Now I struggled with number 8 because there's a lot of quarterbacks you don't want to leave off the list.
Yeah.
And I think for me, Kurt Warner, I think it says something when you can take two different teams to the Super Bowl.
Mm-hmm.
Close to win with the Cardinals.
Yeah.
Very close.
I mean, a freak play from Roethlisberger.
Who caught that pass?
I think it was Brown.
That's Brown?
I think Antonio Brown, yeah.
Yeah, because Kurt Warner drove him down for the go-ahead, and then I thought it was good. And then Roethlisberger took him on to, I don't know how much time he had left. It was like a 3 or 4 minute drive.
Yeah.
And took it down and won. But I like Kurt Warner. And then I think there was like a 2 or 3 year stretch in the NFL, maybe between like 99 and 01, where I don't know if there was a better quarterback in the league like at that time.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Kurt Warner was a guy for me that was very close to being on my list.
He's also, I mean, another reason why he's easy for me to put on the list is the guy is a fantastic ambassador for the game. Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
He's already made the Hall of Fame, right? Yeah.
He's going in. He went in last year.
Last year, that's right. Hall of Famer. And also, I think a little bit of the stuff they did in St. Louis when he was there, I wouldn't say like revolutionized NFL, but I mean, it took
definitely changed it.
It took offenses to another level.
Mm-hmm.
And then really, you can say what you want about that Super Bowl they lost to the Patriots because, Patriots taped the walkthrough or whatever. But they still played all right. But for me, Kurt Warner, just great ambassador for the game. And also, whenever he did get benched in New York for Eli, no complaints.
Yeah.
Just did his thing, and then ended up in Arizona. Was behind Liner, and then ended up getting back in the starting role, and then I don't know if he switched up his play a little bit, but anyways, he took another step up and ended up playing at a high level for a few more years. So
yeah,
great guy.
Yeah, so I feel the same way about that 8 spot. I mean, I went with Favre there, but Kurt Warner was a guy that definitely I was considering. So
cool.
All right, so number 7 for me, moving on right along, is Ben Roethlisberger. Started in 2004, came into the league in 2004, and is obviously still playing now, 14 seasons in. He is a 6-time Pro Bowler. He has 2 Super Bowl wins. And obviously, great quarterback in Pittsburgh. Off the field, not the guy Kurt Warner is, obviously. He's had some issues. But, hey, his play on the field, I mean, he's one of those guys you can look at, especially in the AFC, that he's going to have his team in the mix every year.
Roethlisberger was another guy I was considering for the 8 spot when I put Kurt Warner in there. And the thing is, probably Kurt Warner's, probably him off the field and just how he conducted himself is, I don't know, that might help me put Warner in there instead. And I like watching Warner. Some of the stuff Roethlisberger does as far as talking about retiring and stuff like that, or whatever he was talking about last year, and then he's kind of wish-washy. That probably has something to do with Todd Haley, who's gone. I think he's gone now.
Yeah, he's out.
But Todd Haley's crazy. So I mean that, and playing for the Rooneys and all that stuff. I mean it's a good spot. Roethlisberger's great. Yeah, like I said, Pittsburgh's in the mix every year. They're in the mix every year. Number 7 for me is Drew Brees. I know you love Drew Brees.
I do, and it was hard for me to leave him off this list.
I love Drew Brees, and on field for sure. Off the field also helps me out too because great ambassador for the game, total Hall of Famer.
Yep,
does a ton for New Orleans. Really wants to end his career down there. He's a free agent right now. I think New Orleans, actually what they should do, and I've heard he may end up taking a little less money so they can work under the cap and get more guys around him.
Yeah. They
had a good season this year. But I think the thing about Drew Brees is he got drafted to San Diego. He ended up having
shoulder problems,
ended up having a bad season. Then he put together a pretty decent one. They drafted Rivers. And I think it was a trade in New Orleans, and then really just
he was a free agent.
He was a free agent.
Yeah, and New Orleans had just hired Sean Payton. Sean Payton kind of recruited him.
They say you like Sean Payton. You like Sean Payton too, right?
Oh yeah. I think he's a good coach.
Here's the thing, and we're going off topic a little bit. Do you wish Sean Payton was the one that was offered the Cowboys head coaching job instead of Garrett?
I do wish that Sean Payton, I wish he would have got the job when Parcells left.
Yeah, I think that would have been awesome. I love Sean Payton, and Sean Payton's innovative and just all that stuff. Cool thing too about Breeze is he's this year especially. He still had pretty good numbers this year, but he changed his style when the defense is giving him the run. They ran the ball this year, and they ran the ball really well. So props to that. Anyways, Breeze had set passing records and all that good stuff, and I love watching him play. He's a gamer. So Breeze was my number 7.
All right. Number six for me, and you're going to say I'm a homer for this one, but I went Troy Aikman. It's no secret I'm a Cowboys fan. He was Super Bowl MVP. He was a 6-time Pro Bowler, played 12 seasons, all in Dallas, and was 3-0 in the Super Bowl. And I think at that spot you got to have a winner, and I think he was a guy who came out, performed every Sunday. I mean, I watched him play a ton as a Cowboys fan. He was accurate with his passes. He's one of the most accurate quarterbacks that has ever played the game. Played with some other Hall of Famers too on offense. Obviously Michael Irvin and Emmitt Smith. They had some Hall of Famers on defense. Had a really good defense. So some people don't regard Aikman as high as I do because of the help he had around him. But to me, number 6, Troy Aikman.
Yeah, see, I don't have Aikman in my top 8, but he was another guy I was considering for the 8th spot because of the stuff he said. He is a winner, and he did exactly what they needed him to do. Don't turn the ball over. Good offensive line. Aikman's a gamer. Also, I think off the field conducted himself pretty well, right?
Yeah.
Does a good job now in his announcing role. I think he does a good job. Not as good as Romo.
Yeah, Romo's a much better announcer.
Aikman was more. Aikman was a more clutch player than Romo was for sure. But yeah, you can't say nothing bad about Troy Aikman. I mean, Troy Aikman kind of fell off later in his career, but Father Time catches everybody, so it's whatever. My number 6 for me is I think you have him on your list in here in a minute. I have Peyton Manning. Peyton Manning. I don't know if I have. I mean, Johnny Unitas would have been on my list because he was a really good field general. Peyton Manning was the field general. They'd call 3 plays in, 2 pass, 1 run. They'd line up. He'd look at the defense, and then he'd call something, whatever, depending on look off the safety or whatever. Anyways, set offensive records while he was in Denver. Basically, the Colts were pretty much moving on from him. He went to Denver, and he really showed everybody that he could still play. His last season, I think Father Time had finally caught him, and so he ended up being more of the game manager role. Still won a Super Bowl, and I think his leadership also goes into play on that. And then off the field, I think Peyton's pretty solid, good businessman too. He'll be a Hall of Famer for sure. But tons of offensive records and everything, Super Bowls. But another thing about Peyton Manning is too, I think the ability. Then I speak down on Kurt Warner also. The ability to take 2 different teams to the Super Bowl, I think is huge.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
So I love me some Peyton Manning. So why don't you elaborate on that? Because I think he's your
that leads right into my number 5, which is Peyton Manning. He did lose 2 Super Bowls also, but he did win 2. His smarts. I think the reason he was able to play so long is because he understood the game, and like you said, he could look at the defense and read the defense and know what they were in, what they were going to do. I saw an interview with Peyton Manning. He said he really prided himself, took a lot of pride in not getting fooled by the defense and taking the time to study the tape and look at tendencies and kind of know what coverage they were going to be in based on the situation, based on alignment. Obviously he was Super Bowl MVP. He was a 5-time NFL MVP, 14-time Pro Bowler. Passing yards, he holds the NFL record for passing yards for his career and in a season. Passing touchdowns for his career and for the single season. So.